Hey there guys, welcome back to the Three Rings, and today we're going to be talking about renewable energy and creating a future where this could be the forefront of the way we get energy, because the only way we're going to survive climate change and the world literally imploding on us and killing us is if we actually respect it and work with nature instead of, destroying it. So let's talk about that. Renewable energy needs to be our future, and it is becoming something that is being worked into a lot of legislation, especially here in America with the Build Back Better plan, and in other countries as well. The thing is, I feel like it's going a little slow. This has been one of the hottest weeks here in California of the summer, right? And it makes me realize that these are the consequences of our actions. Granted, California is a very warm state, but the fact is, when you have heat waves of 100 degrees plus for 10 days straight, and it's not just happening here, but in places like the UK and other places, you start to realize that maybe burning all these fossil fuels could be heating up our planet, like people have been saying for years. And the solution to this is renewable energy: solar, nuclear, wind. And we have a lot of misconceptions about some of these, especially nuclear. So we're going to talk about that one first. So nuclear energy actually is extremely safe, but because of bad marketing, Chernobyl, and a few other nuclear meltdowns that happened, a lot of people are afraid to, invest in it. In fact, a ton of nuclear projects have been shut down over the years because they're expensive and just the government's like, bad stuff has happened, let's not put the money in there. But I also feel like it's because the oil companies are lobbying against them actually being a thing. Because, why have an energy source that would challenge your energy source and your power? I wouldn't want to do that if I was a greedy company, right? But if you are someone who wants to change the world and make it a better place for everyone, nuclear energy is the way to go, especially in conjunction with solar and other energies. So nuclear energy has actually only killed like 50 or so people from like a nuclear meltdown, and most of those people were in Chernobyl. The fact is, working in a nuclear plant is safer than living in a big city or eating bananas. Bananas actually have more radiation in them than someone who would be at a nuclear plant being exposed to nuclear radiation because it is so safe. Now, nuclear plants cost a ton of money to make, but I'm a big believer that saving our planet and giving us clean energy is well worth the cost. And nuclear energy doesn't have to be our only resource. If you're investing, right, you put your money in multiple baskets. And with energy, we should do the same. Nuclear plants already provide us 20% of our energy here in the US. Why not up that to 50 to 60% and then supplement the rest with solar? So all the solar energy you need to power Los Angeles could be made by covering all the parking structures and parking lots in LA with solar panels, which would provide shade for cars and energy for the city. That much solar would power the entire county of Los Angeles. And I believe 21,000 square miles of solar, whether in the Mojave Desert or just over our highways and are in different places, would power the entire United States. Granted, we would have to upgrade our grid and get better batteries, but this is doable. Would it cost billions, if not trillions of dollars? Yes, but we put trillions of dollars every year into our military-industrial complex. We could be giving money and energy back to the people who need it, by making our country more sustainable, more green, and more beautiful for everyone. Yet, oil companies and greedy energy companies and the fossil fuel industry has been lobbying against renewable energy for a long time. This needs to end. And again, some legislation has been passed by Biden and his administration to help out with that. While I do believe this legislation that he's been passing is more going to benefit corporations to change to renewable energy and not going to benefit us so much until a few years down the road, it is still a good step in the right direction. Now, there are some concerns with solar and wind, like what happens when the solar energy runs out, right? The solar panels stop working. Not so much the solar energy runs out, because the sun will never run out of energy. That's the beautiful thing about the sun. It's a near infinite resource. It actually is an infinite resource until the sun dies, which is going to be billions of years from now, so I think we're chilling. But the fact is, solar panels do need to be recycled, and recycling costs for doing solar recycling is really expensive. It's not cheap, and it's definitely not sustainable in a capitalist society where people want to make money. Now, if we're just trying to do things that are better for humanity, which I think we should be doing, despite whether it makes us a profit or not, then yeah, recycling solar wouldn't be an issue. We also have to look at wind energy as well. Wind energy does deteriorate over time, but you can reuse those big blades for other construction. And you could also probably reuse the large things that the blades are on. I don't know what they're called, the stands or whatever, to also, be supports for other buildings or be recycled into other building materials. The fact is, nothing is without affecting the environment, right? Solar does require us to get silicone and all these other things like glass and other components. Same with wind turbines. They are gonna, obviously kill some of the wildlife. Same with solar, sadly, as well, because solar is very bright and can hurt birds, as can wind energy by just the blades hitting the birds, which is really sad. If we put in areas and wildlife like, preserves and locations and reserves for the wildlife, then we will be having a much better offset to be like, oh, hey, yes, a few thousand, probably more than that, birds are dying from the wind energy, but at least we now have a bird reserve here in this national park where a ton of bird species are thriving, right? We can make things work. I'm sure we are killing way more wildlife and animals by deforesting our forests. I don't know if I said that right, deforestation, by pumping our air full of chemicals that are both killing us and everything around us. Solar energy, nuclear energy, wind energy are far more sustainable than what we have, and it's doable. Will it be expensive? A big shift for corporations and our entire country to renew its grid? Yes. Is it worth the cost? 1,000%. The future we need is one that is renewable, one that is net zero. And we are heading there. There's legislation for that. What does scare me, though, is with political change, right? If some other political party gets into office, then we could risk having a rollback of getting towards sustainable energy, right? We need to push for sustainable energy faster and harder than we ever have before, because our planet is dying. And it will die for a time that will kill us, and the planet will come back in a few million years. But the fact is if we want to survive as a species, right? If we want to live and thrive on this planet, it is me and yours and everyone's best interest to get to renewable energy as fast as possible. And while I have way more hope that we are on track to do that, we need to expedite that process. We need to be pushing for green legislation. We need to be voting for politicians who have green energy in mind and at the forefront of their policies. And me and you need to be out there and being in action to get green energy on board for everyone and making it affordable for everyone. The fact is, greed is always gonna be an issue, right? The fossil fuel industry, capitalism runs on a scarcity mindset that there's only so much of a resource. With the sun and the wind and nuclear powering us, we have near infinite energy, right? Especially from the sun. That's not great for a capitalist system, but it's still gonna make jobs and provide products for people by using solar energy. Having an abundance of energy where it is near like free Wi-Fi could push us forward in so many ways technologically and just scientifically that we could not even imagine. Being able to give people cheap and affordable utilities would be amazing, allowing people to focus on the dreams they have instead of having to worry about a $900 power bill because they just had a huge heat wave and had to run their AC, right? With the world the way it is, it needs to change. We need a sustainable future, and the amount of opportunity that it could provide, especially with jobs in a new energy sector, retraining the fossil fuel workers who work on the fossil fuel industry in the current energy sector and training them in the solar and renewable energy sector is a great way to get us there faster without taking away the jobs of the people who need them that work in our current energy sector. That's what I've been thinking about, and I want to know what you think. I believe nuclear energy is such a great idea. I love solar, I always have, and I'm a big fan of electric cars as well. And this is the thing. Granted, these new renewable energy sources are way more sustainable than our current, but we still do have to take from the environment to build them. But we can offset their cost and their effect on the environment way more than we can with fossil fuels. And it'll make us healthier and provide so much more opportunity for all of us, because using the star in our sky that provides more than enough energy for our entire planet that we use in 1 year, just in 1 day. The sun provides us enough energy in 1 day for what we use in a year. That's crazy. And we can harness that with solar energy. And once our technology gets better and better, we can harness it even more. And if we get better at hydrogen power and other things, it is endless what humanity can do if we work in concordance with nature and we work with nature instead of working against it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I cannot wait to see you in the next one and talk about more things, and I want to change the world with you. So yeah, thank you guys. This is Gabriel, and I'm signing off. See you later.